Welcome to the Ho Ho Show, rated the #1 most listened to podcast on Pluto. So join us now as we discuss news, politics, current events, and so much more. So clear the airways and strap in as we defend the Constitution. Because freedom matters.
We are broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio. You can check out my website, thehohoshow.com. I'm all over the place on social media and a proud member of Weaponized Soft Production, so welcome to the Ho Ho Show. And as always, I am your host, Ho Ho. And if you guys would like to follow along with the madness, what little there is in there, you guys can head on over to thehohoshow.com. Just click on that newsfeed tab at the upper right-hand portion of the screen, and there you will see my magazine on Flipboard. You know, my go-to hub and stuff for news, which is amazing. Oh, yeah. And by the way, I do have a slight update, housekeeping update. I am now on Deezer, which is cool. Another, podcast platform for the audio only listeners. So you guys can definitely find me there. I will have that information up on my website as soon as I update that. I hadn't done that yet. And hello, Dave, over there in YouTube land. How you doing, sir? He says, I'm here for now. While I'm hooking up, I'll listen in on Spreaker. Talk to you later. Awesome, Dave. Good to see you over there. So, all right, let's see here. We've got my title. What was my title? Corruption, I think, and privilege. Yes. So I do have a couple audio clips that I'd like to play for you guys. And these are a couple clips. One of them is an interview done by something TV. Vlad TV or something like that on Michael Feminison, a former mob guy that turned FBI informant, I think. Pretty sure that's what he did. And I got a little bit on him talking about, more or less what the government's doing. And I also have a clip from Eddie Murphy's Distinguished Gentleman, okay? And I'm sure you guys can, so my only toss-up is, Dave over there in Spreaker. Good to see you, sir. You listening over here on Spreaker? Okay, hooking. These are French from what I believe. Oh, really? These are French. That's cool. All right. So let's go ahead and play. Let's see. Which one should we do first? I guess it really doesn't matter. Let's do this one.
We understood the government a lot of times crossed the lines with us. We got it. But you know what? We were criminals. So in a way, can you justify it? I don't think so. I don't think the government is ever supposed to act illegally. Okay, they're supposed to abide by the law. We were criminals. We broke the law. But they're supposed to use the laws effectively and properly to get anybody. That's my feeling. But you know what? All right, we were criminals and they crossed the line every once in a while. Okay. I have never in my lifetime seen the level of corruption that is going on today in the political arena.
Come on, Michael.
Patrick, I kid you not.
More today than before.
Hunter, absolutely. And at a level that I can't believe. I mean, look, I've experienced, this is my life experience. You gotta understand, I've been indicted 5 times. I've had 2 federal racketeering cases. I've had 2 state racketeering cases. I've been in front of the Supreme Court on constitutional issues in my dad's case. I've been in front of the appellate court so many times. I've been more grand juries than you can imagine. This has been my life. I understand it. I know the law. And I am telling you, I've never seen the law violated by people in power like I'm seeing now. It's to a point where I can't even watch it anymore. It's terrible because it's bad for all of America. Look, we cannot let.
All right, there's a little bit more on that one, but you guys get the point. He's talking about the level of corruption he's seeing from government, people in power. Okay, now this next little clip I want to give you guys is this is Eddie Murphy, and there's also other actors in here as well. And hello, Ray, over there in YouTube land. Good to see you, sir. But yeah, this one he's talking about government. All right, I'm sure you guys have seen the movie. If you haven't, a quick rundown on it. The guy, he's a con artist, and he ends up conning his way into, being a representative. Says this guy is full of it. He's trying to be a cult of personality. Hey, he might be. Linda over there in Spreaker, good to see you. Holy cow, I got Linda. Linda's awesome. So, Eddie Murphy, you guys will like this one.
Sir, you are out of order.
Hey. To hell with order. The truth is gonna come out here today, all right?
All right. You want the truth?
You can't handle the truth.
Here's
Oh, wait,
the
sorry.
truth, Congressman. The man you see before you is nothing but a common criminal. He got into this house through fraud. Now, you want more truth, Congressman? Here's your rap sheet. Arrest for bookmaking, card sharping, con games, mail fraud. You know, I had hoped to avoid damaging this noble institution, but I can see that you have no respect for this institution or for anything else. There, I dare you to respond.
Yeah, this is me. Can't deny it. Can't deny anything on here. I did all of this, except for this thing. This woman got her shoes back. This woman here. But everything else on this list is real. I did it, don't deny it. But all of this is nothing compared to the shit that I pulled off right here in Washington. And everything that I did in this town would be considered legit.
Yeah. And you know, I tell you what, I watched that movie and I definitely liked that movie. It was a good one. It was definitely a good one. But those are my two clips. And guys, why I use those is because, my primary thing here, I'm talking about privilege. Okay. There's a lot of talk about privilege this, privilege that, but the fact of the matter is, privilege, as defined by Webster, is basically talking about somebody who lives by a completely different set of rules than by what would be considered, the masses. Okay. And that's something you see a lot in Washington. There's privilege. Think about it. With Hillary Clinton, for instance, there's no argument that she did what she did. And how you doing, Chris, over there in Facebook land? Not much is up, sir. And he calls me snack cake. That's right, because I'm a ho-ho. Ho-hos are snack cakes. Amazing snack cakes. There for a while, I was a commodity. Oh, yeah. Whenever Hostess shut down, I was like, dude, I'm a commodity. I'm worth a lot now. Not so much anymore because, ho-hos are back. So, But anyway, privilege. That's what we're talking about. Privilege is because, there's no argument. There's no doubt. She was caught. Basically, she was caught red-handed. There's no argument that she did or didn't do what she did. She did it. She admitted that she did it, And an interesting point on that is, as part of the law on how it's written in this, is that it doesn't matter her intentions. It doesn't matter her, the heart behind what she did. It doesn't matter that she removed some of the classified earmarkings on some of this stuff, because it's not about, the classified marking on it. It's about the content by itself. And in which case she knew all this anyway. And she did. She broke the law. Okay. According to the law, there's a crime that goes along with this that she has yet to receive. And then you have, all this stuff with the Impeachment Gate and everything else. And we're not going to necessarily talk about that, because, let's face it, guys, there's nothing new out. Okay. There really isn't. You got the mainstream media spinning it one way, and you've got, you have the cross-examination by Jim Jordan and the like that are spinning it. Well, I don't want to say spinning it a different way, but they're asking some of the tougher questions, and the answers that, that they're getting replied with is, well, yeah, this is, everything I've testified is my, how I seen it. Not that how it was, not that this is, this was specifically told to me. This is my impression of what was going on about a possible quid pro quo, and in which case that's another thing, quid pro quo. That's how politics is done. So I don't understand what the big deal is on quid pro quo in general. It's like, okay, that's how politics is done, guys. It really is. But privilege, because there's a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of, things, but there's just a lot of different, things that have come up that government has done, like the slush fund for, people that are in, House of Representatives in the Senate that has done something wrong, or, basically have a lawsuit against them, and it's shush money. It's money that's being given to, the accusers, the people that are accusing them of stuff. And of which case, this is also bogus on this too, because it's like, okay, why do I, as a taxpayer, why do I not see where this money is going to? Why do I not see who this money is being spent to protect? Isn't that something I should know? If this person does in fact work for me, which he does, last time I read the Constitution, this person does work for me, and of which case I have the right to know what my money is being spent on and who it is that they're protecting. Absolutely. This isn't, granted, some of this is, hey, it could have been a false accusation. Who knows? But it still happened. And if you're really going to fight that, well then, or if you want it to be shushed, or you want to be, you want the investigation to be done to where it shows that you didn't do anything in the wrong, then you should want that investigation. And this is something that I mentioned last week, is I have no problem with investigations as long as it's an honest investigation that's, sees a crime and then is investigating a crime, not just flat investigating a person because you don't like them. Dave puts in here, he goes, I'm a fan of quid pro quo, especially if it makes America a winner, more specifically the United States. Oh yeah, exactly. And I'm a fan of quid pro quo too. Again, because that's how stuff gets done in Washington. It just is. Like it or hate it, that's how it gets done in Washington. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You give me this, I'll give you that. Or you vote for me or with me on this, and I'll vote for or with you on that. That's how it's done. So I have no problem with quid pro quo. But again, this tax dollars being spent like this, I should be able to see what it's getting spent on, how much it's getting spent on, who this money is going to protect somebody, if it's going to protect somebody, that I should be able to see that. And that, in my opinion, that is privilege, and it is privilege. I'm not a privileged individual. Last time I got a speeding ticket, I was told that pretty straightforward, and in which case I didn't know that I was speeding. I didn't realize it. I didn't see the sign. Who knows if the sign was there, and the cop informed me that, your knowledge of the law doesn't have any bearing on me giving you a ticket because you still violated the law. And of which case Hillary Clinton did the same thing. She violated the law. They know that she did, It's frustrating to me, it's definitely frustrating to me, But again, I told you guys that I wasn't wanting to, get into the impeachment again, because we're not seeing anything new. We're not hearing anything new. The people that the Republicans are wanting to be questioned on this, the Democrats aren't allowing us to do that. They're like, no, you can't talk to him. No, you can't talk about this. No, you can't do that. They're hijacking the whole thing. And so, of which case you're basically getting the same thing repeated over again. Some headlines on CNN I heard was actually kind of funny, because they were like, oh, this is going to be a bombshell, just a bombshell testimony. And of which case all you got was, well, no, I don't know anything. Oh, great. Cool. So we wasted our time by, talking again to somebody that doesn't know anything. Great. Cool. So hopefully maybe next week will be different. Maybe next week we'll actually get somewhere. Maybe next week we'll actually find out something, But again, this whole thing revolves around the knowledge that the Democrats don't have anybody in the field that can really, that they can stand up against Trump. They don't have anybody that can stand up against President Trump and, just and fight him, and win. Because, all right, let's put it this way, guys. And I read this or heard this not that long ago, and that is that the DNC, and this was something I talked about last week. The DNC is not doing real well right now. They're not able, like they are in debt. They are in the hole. They're not doing a very good job, and they're not doing a very good job bringing in money right now. Okay. And I mean, come on, are you surprised? I mean, I'm not surprised because think about it. Your top candidates as the media sees it, you got Sanders, you've got, Warren. Okay. You got two big people right there. What are they talking about? They're talking about adding a bigger tax burden to the upper 10%, which might I remind you that the upper 10%, as far as, wealth in this nation, they carry 40% of the tax burden. So the upper 10% carry 4 times a bigger tax burden of what they're technically, I guess, supposed to be. Sanders may be taking it in like as far as individually, but I'm referring to the party on a whole. The party itself on the whole. They're having a hard time bringing in money. And of course, part of that reason is because, these guys are talking about increasing the tax burden on their biggest contributors across the board. So, I mean, and Bill Gates has even come out against Elizabeth Warren. Like, no, I mean, what she's talking about is insane. It's never going to work. It's not going to happen. It's not going to help. And even her doing that isn't going to put a drop of the water into the huge ocean of what is going to be the tax burden after, they implement what it is that she's talking about implementing. It's not even going to help. I mean, let's be honest here. It's not going to help. It's a drop in the hat. It's nothing, but you've got the biggest contributors to the Democratic Party backing away from contributing because the people that are, that are the front runners right now, I mean, let's face it, let's be honest. I mean, Joe Biden right now is, nationally speaking, the front runner. But, you still got, number 2, Bill Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, they're still doing decent enough in the polls that, what they're doing and what they're talking about still matters because, well, let's face it, where did Elizabeth Warren get her idea for this, for the healthcare, Medicare for all and whatnot, and her ideas for paying for it? Where did it come from? Sanders. That's where it came from. And Ray put in here, and Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. No, he didn't. That's hilarious, dude. I've seen so many memes out there on that. I mean, holy cow, man. I mean, dude, Facebook right now, all you see is the screaming woman and the cat, and then a thing that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Dude, I actually read this really good meme. Talking about, my age group, 31 to 41, as far as our generation, what we witnessed, with the first consoles, the birth of the computer, this, that, and the other, and at the bottom of it was, and Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. I'm like, really? You had this really good meme right here that tells a lot of good stuff in here, and then you got to throw that BS at the bottom of it. Really? I had to laugh, though. I mean, it was funny. I shared it. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. And when I return, we're going to talk about the deep state a little bit. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why I hate it. Not even hate it, why I despise it. And I mean, yes, hate is definitely a strong word. It very much is a strong word, but you know what? It fits in this case. It really does. Just a couple minutes, guys. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back, ladies and gents. So, talking about the deep state. That's what we're talking about. The deep state. So, guys, in a nutshell, I don't like the deep state because they're too stinking powerful. You know? Yeah. Too powerful. And what am I talking about when I'm talking about the deep state? Well, simply put, I'm talking about those people who are in charge of these various agencies that write the majority of the laws that you have to follow every single day in your everyday life. Okay? And yeah, there are some, branches of the executive branch, some twigs, some leaves in the executive branch that are necessary, especially when we take into consideration, what the whole purpose of the executive branch is, and that is to enforce, to enforce the law. That's what, the president, that's what his charge is, to enforce the laws that are put forth by, the legislative branch. The executive branch's job isn't to write legislation, it's to enforce the legislation. So, the FBI, the CIA, I would consider those legitimate, leaves, legitimate departments, if you will, of the executive branch. Definitely would consider that legit. But some of these others, there is some root rot going on in the branches as well. So yeah, definitely some root rot going on in there. But, whenever you're talking about some of these other branches, or not branches, but, leaves, the root rot that's going on, when you're talking about, like the EPA, the Department of Transportation, some of these other things, that's like, well, I would definitely consider that a deep state thing. I definitely consider that an overreach because, let's go in here with based on my life for a little bit. Me being a truck driver, and Dave can attest to this, my life is ruled by the Department of Transportation. All these rules and regulations on everything that I am supposed to do in in my week, not just my day, but in my week, is controlled by them. Who wrote this? These are laws. These are rules. These are regulations that carry the weight of law, as in if I break them, I get fined. I get my driving privileges taken away from me. I lose my ability to make money. I lose that. Were these laws that were written by the legislative branch, people who are beholden to me, people whom I elect in the office? No, not at all. These are rules and regulations that are written by people who are not beholden to me, that I have no control over, that there's nothing I can do at all to change the guard. Nothing. How many times, that whenever you elect a new president, does the guard actually change? Not that often. And whenever it does change, or at least in the case of a Republican changing it from a Democrat, you have all this pushback from the deep state going, oh, you can't do that. Various other presidents have done it and it was considered okay whenever they did it. Why isn't whenever some other people do it, it's considered a really, really bad thing? The bottom line is, why do you guys think that the President Trump's getting attacked right now? He's getting attacked right now because he has done a lot to try to limit, the power of the executive branch with these various agencies. He's pushed back and rolled back a lot of different policies that they've had. That's why they're attacking him. That's why they're going after him. That's why they want him to be impeached, is because he's not a go along to get along, politician. He's not a politician. Let's just be honest on that. And a welcome, Mr. Howard over there in Facebook land. He said, I cannot stand the DOT. And he got that right. Because that's the thing, guys. These are people whom write these rules and regulations, the EPA, the DOT, all these other ones, they write these rules and regulations. And if you don't like them, what can you do? What can you do about it? Can you elect a different president in? Well, sure, yeah, but do the rules and regulations go away? No. They don't. They don't go away. They don't move. The power never seems to be lessened. And this is a weird thing too, because, in all honesty, Dave in there, he says, boo hiss to DOT. He got that right. But here's the thing that cracks me up though, because I totally lost my train of thought. I really did. Totally lost my train of thought. I don't even know where it went. I have no idea. Do. Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. Help. Little help. Come on, guys. You guys are paying attention. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Oh, well, moving on. But you've got these people that were put in there. Yeah, I was trying to get it back. It didn't work. All right. But, it's the overreach, because these are people that, they don't go anywhere. They don't go anywhere. We'll just go with that. They don't go anywhere. Once the power gets put in there, oh yeah, that's where I was going with that. I remember my train of thought now. The train came right back around to the station. We're good to go now. So here it is. Our founding fathers. All right, let's just rewind the clocks of time a little bit. Let's hop into our DeLorean. Let's go 88 miles an hour. Let's let that flux capacitor get heated up with 1.21 gigawatts of electricity. Let's go in that Wayback Machine. Our founding fathers never seen this coming. They never did. They didn't think that the power struggle would go the other way. Okay, they thought that people being they thought that the power hungry people, the power hungry politicians, that they would be doing everything in their power to grab a hold of more power. That's what they thought they would be getting. That's what they thought would happen. They didn't think for an instant that you would have, the legislative branch just allowing the executive branch to take their power, take their authority of writing laws and just be okay with it without any fallback, without any fight whatsoever. They never thought that would happen. With the Department of Education, they never thought for one instance that, that the government would be able to grab a hold of that power and the states would just let it happen, be okay with it. They never saw that coming. Now, I mean, mind you, the government cheated, especially in the case of the Department of Education, because they're like, hey, you guys can have education. The government talking to the states. You guys can have the education. That's fine. But, see, we have this grant money. Oh, the lovely power of the green dollar bills. We have all this money, and we would love to give it to you, but you've got to do something for me. You've got to teach. You can teach whatever you want. You have that freedom. You have that right. You can teach whatever you want. However, a certain percentage of your students has to be able to pass with a certain percentage point this test. So basically what it amounts to is you have to teach the test to get the grant money. And if you don't have that grant money, well, cost of education is expensive. Ray says, just had a disruption. Not sure if it was just on my end or it might be hitting you. Well, is it good now? Is it good now? Is anybody else having a disruption in stuff, I guess? I'm not seeing any issues on my end. Everything looks fine. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Our founding fathers never figured that power struggle would result in people just allowing other people to take their authority that they have constitutionally and just run with it, and that it would be okay. Sounds clear on Spreaker. Well, thank you, Linda. I do appreciate it. So, there's the issue. There's the issue that I have. And to be honest with you, I mean, my biggest issue, and this is getting into the education system. Okay. I have a big problem, especially with how colleges do it, especially in colleges. And you're seeing this trickle down younger and younger and younger, to where it's our children is being indoctrinated. Education should be about education. Okay. It should be about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. It should be about those things, reading, writing, arithmetic. Can't even spell arithmetic. But that's what it should be about. You know, it should be about those simplistic things. It shouldn't be about gender studies. How is that going to let you get a job? How is that going to let you earn money? How is that going to help you out any in the real world? The fact is, it ain't. You know, so why are we teaching this in our school? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I don't understand that type of thing. I really don't. I got a problem with it. You know, you keep education about education, you'll be fine. You'll do fine. You know, our kids will learn. It'll be amazing. You know, Linda makes a good one in here. She says, so much of actual history they are attempting to take away, such as the Holocaust. They have stopped teaching cursive writing. And yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, American history, you know, now this is from what I was told. I have not, you know, cracked open a new, you know, a new history book, you know, but from one of the things that I have been told that they're doing is that they are taking the entirety of American history, you know, from our founding, our Revolutionary War, our, you know, Christopher Columbus, you know, 1492 on up to present. They have condensed all that down into like a chapter or two. How can you cover the entirety of American history in... Thank you, Howard, for spelling arithmetic for me. I appreciate that. But how can you condense all of American history, take away the class in its entirety, and have it as a chapter or two in world history? How do you do that? I don't get it. There was an awesome, I didn't see it, but I was told about it, you know, an awesome series that they did. And basically the premise was, what if America never was? You know, what would the world be like if America never was? And I heard it was a really good TV series that was on something, HBO maybe. I have no clue. I don't remember, you know, but it was an awesome series. I heard good things about it. I have to look it up now sometime since my mind thought about it. You know, they want people wishing to become citizens to understand American history, yet what will they have left to understand? Yeah. Yet what will they have left to understand? Reading, I can read. I can. And you know what, Linda, you got a point. Dave says, I can't imagine not learning to write. Yeah. But yeah, guys, I mean, I don't understand why, you know, we have gone and moved from education to indoctrination. I mean, I know why. I mean, I very much know why. You know, I mean, for the same reason why they really don't truthfully teach, you know, because this is the thing, man. I mean, you get told and you get taught in civics class that, you know, that capitalism is grand and having, you know, and that monopolies are bad, and that, you know, having competition just does nothing more than benefit the buyer, because you'll have better products at the cheapest possible price, you know, to where, you know, the profit margin on some things are going to be a little low for the companies, but what you get as an end product is going to be amazing. You know, competition benefits the buyer. Okay. Competition benefits the buyer. So you have that being taught to you in civics class, but yet, you know, government tells you that nobody can do it better than we can in education. Lack of competition breeds complacency. You know, dual messages, you know, being told to our kids. You know, no wonder why they come out more confused than what they went in. You know, it's just, you know what I mean, guys? I don't get it. Oh, imaginary scenario. In order to graduate, your finals will be about correctly identifying emojis. How much methane does a single cow pass, and how many plants will die in the process, and so forth. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. You know, there's a movie that I was told about quite a while ago. I think it's called it's called something. There's a name for it. You know, it's a stupid, ridiculous movie. You know, yeah, stupid, ridiculous movie. Ray, you can help me out with this. A stupid, ridiculous movie that, you know, it's oh man, I really wish I could remember the title. You know, it's about just how people are just indoctrinated to the fullest, that they really don't know anything. And one of the lines is, you know, talking about plants. You know, we haven't been able to grow plants in so long. It's like, dude, give them electrolytes because that's what plants crave. You know, it's a stupid movie, but you know, the sad thing is that's what you're kind of seeing from people. You know, it isn't just, you know, they're being indoctrinated. They're being told what is true, having the ability to look it up for themselves. You know, because let's face it, most people nowadays have a little handy dandy exogenesis. What? Exogen? What are you talking about, Ray? It's like Idiocracy. That's the name of the movie, Idiocracy. But, you know, people just, you know, you have that ability to look up things and to fact check things and to dig into things and to research things and to own your own information. You know, to own your own information. You have that ability to do that. But yet, for some reason, people will watch CNN or they'll watch this, that, and the other, and they'll get told lines of BS from people, and they'll just believe it because, he's got a trustworthy face. I ain't got a trustworthy face. And just, never mind. But that's what people do. It's like, holy crap, are you kidding me? I mean, own your information, guys. I mean, it's so easy to look things up and to fact check that it's not even funny. There's no reason for people to walk around this earth, especially this country, not knowing something. Because if you don't know something, you don't know it because it's your choice, because you don't want to know. Most people, that's kind of how it is. And that's what it boils down to. You know? Ray says, yeah, that one. Glad I can help. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, talk about Idiocracy. But that's what you have, though. I mean, a lot of people, they just don't want to know the truth. You know? But there's two kinds of people in this world. There's not two kinds of people in this world, but there's more than two kinds of people in this world. There's 10 kinds of people in the world. People that know binary and people that don't. It's just anyway, it's a binary joke. I'm a geek. What can I say? But anyway, I know I'm a weird individual. But there's like, you know, there's people whom are ignorant, which ignorance can be fixed with edification. And then you have, I don't know why I say edification all the time. It's just, you know, it just comes out edification. You know, kind of like I've got my own language for different words. You know, it's sandwich, and it's sandwich. You know, because you got to emphasize, you got to elongate that A, because there's like 2 or 3 A's in sandwich. So you got to sandwich. There's winder, wash. You know, I throw an R in there because it's fun. You know, and knowing is half the battle. That's right, G.I. Joe. That's a good movie too, by the way. But yeah, so, you know, it's you have, you know, people whom are ignorant, which ignorance can be fixed with education. And you have people who are stupid who, you know, don't want to know. Even if they do know, they still believe the lie, or, you know, talk about the lie and spread the lie. You know, those are stupid people. Stupid people you can't fix stupid. What people say, you can't fix stupid. Yeah. Oh, holy crap. Linda just threw a big old binary thing in there. Oh, equals law. That's hilarious. Dude, I actually, you know, and it's what I do. You know, I translated like a bunch of different things into binary, and I actually wrote it out one time just because I was bored for like an hour or two. And I'm like, let's translate things into binary code. So that's what I did. I don't know why I did it. I don't even remember what it is I translated into binary code, but it was interesting for me. I thought it was funny. I thought it was neat. So let's go through my, you know, some of my articles, because I do have some articles that I threw in here, you know, stuff that I thought cracked me up, something that I thought was funny. You know, there is one I watched. Oh, guys, have you, all right. For those of you that are on Disney Plus, actually, yeah, Disney Plus, there's the Mandalorian little TV series that they got going on in there, and they got like a little baby Yoda. I mean, it's not like baby Yoda. From what I've been told, it's not baby Yoda, but he's cute. You want to see like a young baby Yoda? Check out young baby Yoda, because young baby Yoda, he's just cute. Let me put, you know, let me put this on here for you. This little baby Yoda. Isn't that cool? That's just cool. These are the things that, you know, I find entertaining. All right, guys, we are going to take another quick break, and maybe at the end of this break, we'll be done 40 minutes into it. Like I said, I really didn't have a lot to talk about today. Just had a couple topics I wanted to go over, but I'm going to, peruse my news feed right quick, see if anything jumps out at me, and we might be done with this early. So just a couple minutes, guys, and I will be right back. So, all right, so I perused my stuff there, and, guys, I've actually covered everything that I wanted to cover, and it just didn't take me as near as long to do it as I thought it would. So, very, very awesome. I thank you guys very much for stopping by. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Ray, and Mr. Howard, and Chris. Yep, thank you all for stopping by. I do greatly appreciate it. And, yep, that's it. You all have yourself a wonderful day. Good night. Sleep tight, and if them bed bugs bite, well, then bite them back. Yeah. Take it easy, guys. This has been The Ho-Ho Show. For more information, you can head on over to thehohoshow.com. And for all things Weaponized Sloth Productions related, you can head on over to WSPFM.com. Until next time.